do have a tournament this week, the Genesis Open. And, before we get into any of these golfers here, I want to talk about some of the stats. I'll get to you, Chris. Talk about some of the stats and things that you're looking for to create a player pool for this week.
Yeah, so obviously I help out over at Fantasy National, so check that out if you haven't checked it out. It's a great place. It's got a simulator, lineup generator, custom stat models, like head-to-head stuff, course history. It's a really nice site. But
it's not a nice site. It is the benchmark of fantasy statistics.
Yeah, I mean, Moose is really I think he's turning into revolutionizing the way people kind of look at things, which has been really cool to be a part of. But for me, what I'm kind of looking for here is somebody that can really scramble. I noticed last year that the majority of the approach shots came from 150 plus. If you look at it, it's only 26% of the shots are less than 150 yards. And so that's going to be a huge stat for me. And it's probably going to be 150 to 175 and then 175 to 200 that I'm looking for. I think par fours are going to be a huge thing. And then also 2 of the 3 par fives were the ones that were under par. So I think par 5 scoring is going to be kind of a big deal here. And then obviously guys that can hit the ball long are going to have a better shot. We've seen that in the past as well. So that's really what I'm looking for. It doesn't seem like driving accuracy is that big of a deal, but you never know. It is golf, so it doesn't really matter. That's the thing I like about golf is anybody can win. Look at old Ted Potter.
Jeez, Ted Potter. Jimmy, Matt, you guys have anything to add on to that?
You go ahead, Jim.
I agree. I think, you've got 6 par fours that are over 450 yards. They average 1.24 strokes over par, but they account for 20% of your DraftKings points. The 400 to 450 yard par fours count for another 20% of your DK points. They're a little bit easier, but still play over par. The only group that plays under par is the par fives, so I'm on board there. Long par fours, so long irons and bombers is really what I'm looking for. That's kind of what I think succeeds here. This is a bombers track. It's kind of proven, that bombers do well here. Sands, hyper efficient guys like KJ Choi, who's shown up well here, but it's only because he just never misses a fairway. I think the fairways are only hit 54% of times, or 54% of the time, if I read Future Fantasy correctly this week. So that's 7.75 fairways around. And so one of the things that I kind of looked into is birdie or better from the rough. If everyone's going to miss the fairway, I want to know who's going to score from the rough. And we'll get into a couple of the guys later. And then there's only one guy in this field that shows up in scoring from birdie or better from the rough and scoring from the fairway, birdie or better from the fairway. There's only one guy in this field, and I think he's going to either be hated or loved this week at his price point. So we'll get to him later. But I looked at, I think just expect guys to miss the fairway. That's why we favor bombers here. And then, maybe look for guys that can score from the rough a little bit. But I think 54% of times fairways are hit. So, small greens and out of the rough makes for a tough golf tournament. I think the course average is 0.66 strokes over par. So.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it sort of always plays right in the middle of the courses for the year, a little slightly over par most years. And I looked it up because I couldn't really find many guys who hit all 4 rounds under 70, and it's only been 24 guys since 2003. So that just gives you an idea of the scoring or lack of scoring. Yeah. But yeah, everything you guys said, I think this is one of the only weeks that sort of strokes gained around the green or scrambling really factors in a little bit more than usual this week. It popped about twice as important as usual in the model that I built out this week. So just something worth paying attention to.